All right. I can't hear anything. Can you hear anything?
I can.
Ooh, hey. Thank you, Aiden.
I was going to say Aiden's been playing with the controls again.
Heck yeah, he has. At some point in time, it's going to be him sitting here running it for us because we're going to be old and we're not going to understand how it works. Well, folks, it has been a little while.
It's been a while. Did you just crack that?
Yep.
Crack
Glug,
it in
glug,
the
glug.
bottle. Yeah.
Crack, crack, glug, glug. Well, at 12, baby. Special occasion. Thought we would do it.
Since we're finally back, we've been getting a lot of comments, a lot of people reaching out saying, we miss you. Where's your content? Especially YAWA. And we miss you guys too in answering your questions. Unfortunately, between the holidays, getting COVID, having our daycare shut down due to them also having to quarantine for COVID, it's been a long month of not getting any content created.
Yes.
Or very little content created.
At that point, it falls to priorities, and unfortunately, that involves the health and well-being of the dogs here in our care. So,
yep, taking care of dogs, training dogs, and then the normal bureaucracy? Paperwork, housekeeping, whatever you want to call running a business.
Yeah.
With year-end stuff and beginning year stuff. And so the YAWA and some of the other consistent video content we had been putting out kind of had to get pushed to the back burner. So we apologize, and we appreciate you guys reaching out to us and asking if everything was okay and where the content was. It makes us happy that we have such a loyal following, and definitely appreciate you guys as subscribers.
To say the least here, we have a lot of things to go over with you. We like to utilize YAWA as kind of an announcement and answering questions and just time to interact with y'all. We want to try things a little bit different. We've had positive feedback from both directions. Some people prefer this straight through pre-recorded format where they can, essentially binge it or listen to it via the podcast. I don't know if you guys knew that, but you can listen to all of the YAWAs on our anywhere you catch your pods. I don't know why people call them pod catchers, but I think that's a thing. So you can listen to the audio there, or you can actually watch them on YouTube. And what we are doing now is we're going to attempt to create slightly shorter YAWA. So we're going to answer 2 to 3 questions on the weekly, and then we're going to incorporate as often as we can, and we're going to try and get in a very consistent schedule of it, of 1 to 2 times a month doing the full live format, as long as our frickin' internet works right, okay? We were on schedule to get fiber out here last year, and we see how well that worked out. So here we are, still waiting. Why don't we
just blame it on COVID? I mean, everything pretty much does. So
sure, yeah, COVID. So we're waiting on that to happen. As soon as we have good internet, reliable internet, we're going to be able to do a lot more live content for y'all, which is a fun way to interact. I mean, we really enjoyed getting to do some of those live Q&A YAWAs, showing off the puppies a few times while they were playing and we were answering questions. And we want to be able to do that again.
But we need the internet to work, because the last time we attempted a live YAWA, we were doing a giveaway and some other things, and then the internet kept dropping out, and we were resetting the router and doing a million different things. And
I believe I speak for everyone here.
It was frustrating.
Yeah, when I say it was frustrating, I basically wanted to punch the camera in the face, and
the router in the face.
Just like get a hammer and start smashing stuff. Avoid this really pretty crystal glass, but everything else smashing.
With a hammer.
With a hammer.
If you know where that video reference is, smash it with a hammer. Put it in the comments below.
Mm-hmm. Also, folks, if this is your first time to the channel, definitely hit that subscribe button for us. We really appreciate it. You helping us grow helps us to be able to do more for you. Now, we have a couple things that we want to roll right into today. And I think it's kind of cool what we have set up. We have a couple questions. We're going to go through those. And then we have some really interesting examples that are real. Scenarios. Success stories and failure stories all in one. And
also, we're going to do a little preview, if you will, spoiler alert, of some of our upcoming content and videos we have planned coming out, because I know a lot of people have been asking for some particular videos, and so we want to tell you what's on the docket.
Let's go ahead and answer the first question, and then we'll bump into talking about a few of those upcoming things, as well as one more really exciting announcement. I am very excited about it, and I want to share it with you, but I want to get into a question first. So by the way, this is delicious.
Now, Ethan did these screenshots of these questions, and the way he sent them to me are very, very small, so I will read them as best I can. So the first question, which has been a while, because like we said, it's been a while since we've done a YAWA, so some of these we had to go digging for, is from Jen Sargensen.
And how we found this specifically is it actually says YAWA question right at the beginning of the comment. It's a comment here on YouTube. So you throw in YAWA question, type anything you want.
And then we are able to actually search in all of the comments that people comment on all of our videos, which has become an insane number of videos, and it's hard to get through all those comments, but we can actually filter and search for YAWA and YAWA questions, and then all of the questions that are labeled that way pop up as comments, and then we can go through them that way.
Yes.
So if you got a question, label it YAWA question.
Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
So YAWA question: what is the best way to introduce a new puppy to children, and vice versa? Our kids are ages 6, 4, 5, 3, and 6 months. Ethan is correct with his 1 to 2 dogs is easy, 3 is harder, 4+ is no big difference. It is the same in humans, laugh out loud. 3 kids was tough, but the change to 4 was no big deal.
Excellent.
I will take your word for it. We are on the way with number 2 and getting a little bit, I don't want to say scared, but going, oh my gosh, Aiden is a busy little toddler.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been very busy with, obviously, him staying home from daycare and COVID. And it's like, oh my gosh, how would we make time for 2 at this point? But we'll make it work. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think half of it's going to be Aiden's job. It's like, hey, there's your brother. Go play with him.
Exactly. So this is a really good question, and one that has a very familiar theme, and that we get asked kind of on the daily, I would say, or every other daily.
It's pretty close.
It's
often.
Between Patreon questions, YouTube questions, emails, Facebook messages, Instagram messages, text messages, phone calls. The list goes on and on how people ask us questions, doesn't it? But we get this question a lot. And it's important to understand that it is a two-way street. Jen is right when she said, how do you introduce a new puppy to children, and vice versa? So how do you have the children introduced to the new puppy? And it's important to know that it does go both directions. The puppy needs to learn how to properly interact with the children, but the children also need to know what they can do to appropriately play with the puppy.
Yeah, and I think one of the most common things that we get, and this was most recently at a drop-off just the other day here at the facility, they said that a little boy loves to play with the puppy, and they kind of have become best friends, and they wrestle around and they play. And then he gets upset when he wants to just lay down and cuddle with the puppy, but the puppy just thinks it's time for wrestle match again, right? So he's, in a sense, that precedent has been laid forward, and it's understood the puppy likes to lay down and chill with mom and dad and relax with mom and dad, but the puppy doesn't have that interaction or relationship, if you will, as he does with the kids. Now, we struggle with this firsthand with Aiden all the time. So understand that you're not alone. We're not saying, oh, this is easy.
Yeah,
no,
but it's not an easy fix, and there is no magic wand to just wave and say, this is the answer, and it will fix all your problems with your children and your puppies.
No, but the precedent that needs to be laid down is that we have expectations both for the puppy and for the child, and that interaction has to be something that we're going to want to see out of the puppy when it becomes an adult. That's kind of a mantra that we preach a lot. People say, can I do this with my puppy? Well, do you want them to do it when they're 40 pounds, 50 pounds, 60 pounds, whatever they are as adults?
For the rest of their lives.
And this is the time that we can lay that groundwork, and we can help everybody, both the puppy and the children. So the best thing that I can explain is what our situation specifically looks like.
Yeah,
Aiden,
we have expectations, and then we also have consequences.
Yes.
It's like the biggest thing to take from this, but
Yes.
we'll give examples.
And with Aiden specifically, he absolutely loves the dogs, okay? Loves them. And there's a couple things that he does that are, in our opinion, naughty, and we have to work through with him on the daily. Every single day we work through these things. Okay?
Sometimes every 5 to 10 minutes because he needs
100%.
reminding.
It's constant. It's constant. With the big dogs, the adult dogs, now this is the thing that should be easier because they are laid back. They're not wrestling with him. They're not playing around. But what he likes to do is chase them.
He wants them to run around so that he can chase after them screaming.
Yes, because it's fun. He's not, every once in a while, he does things that are naughty, like he'll pull an ear or pull a tail or do something. And we say, hey, even though our dogs go, whatever,
and
we can
more
tolerate
like
this.
Holding onto their tail or
Yes.
something. It's not like being mean, but it's not something that we want him to think is an okay behavior.
Exactly.
Because he does it to the wrong dog, not one of our dogs, and it could go badly.
Yes, exactly. And there's a lot of things that come into play with proper dog interaction that a lot of people don't fully understand. And that's a whole different topic. But with this specifically, he starts playing with the bigger dogs, the older dogs, and they are like, I just want to lay down on the couch, but I don't really want you to be here pulling on my ears or my tail. So it's a statement to him. It's like, hey, you can't do that. You need to stop. You need to apologize. And then apologize to the dog. Sorry, Papa, that's Grandpa. Sorry, Nix. Sorry, Questy Pup. Those are all things that he, has to say, and then it's leave them alone, or you have consequences. That's going to be a timeout, or we're doing something. Whatever it is for your specific children, it needs to be discipline that works, right? That fits into the category of discipline. Then he does it again. 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, he's excited. He's in that witching hour, the same witching hour that we see with little puppies, right?
Yes.
In the evening,
When
they
they're
become
starting to get tired.
rambunctious because they're tired. Yes.
It's been a long day. It's all culminating to the end.
Mm-hmm. So it becomes this battle, and we stay consistent with him. If we say something, it's not idle threats. I mean, he goes and does it again. Then I explain to him. I said, it's time for timeout. You go sit down over here. And then he's upset or throws a little about it, whatever.
About it, yeah.
We come over and talk. I said, do you know why you're in timeout? It's because you pestered the dogs like we talked about. Yeah, Daddy. Okay, go tell the puppy sorry. And then he's good for a little bit. And then it happens again usually. So, it's just this cycle. So it's constantly teaching him what the expectation is.
And the other side of it is that Ethan was mentioning with our adult dogs is that we have expectations for them as well. So they are collar conditioned to stay on a dog bed. And what Aiden likes to do, like we talked about, is get them to get off their dog bed and then chase them around.
If they stay on their dog bed.
Yeah, if they don't run off and make it exciting for him to chase them, he just sits by them. They don't do anything. He pets them a little bit, and then he wanders off to go play with his own toys and do his own thing. So the excitement isn't there. So if we can have the expectations with our adult dogs that have collar conditioning to stay on a dog bed, that, hey, you just have to stay there. He's not really doing anything naughty in a sense. He's just sitting there next to you on your dog bed. No big deal. As soon as he gets bored of that, which doesn't take too long for a 2-year-old toddler, he goes away. They stay on their dog bed, and both are happy as can be.
So then you have the puppy.
Puppy tricks, which I'm sure you guys have seen on social media and in the most recent Teach Your Puppy to Sleep in a Crate Overnight video.
Yeah,
you at least got to hear her in most of that video.
If you haven't seen that video yet, you need to definitely check it out. It's real, right? That's what we try and do with all of our training videos. It's showing real situations, and again, us struggling with a puppy sleeping overnight for the first few nights is normal. So now, all of that being said, the puppy brings a whole new level of energy to the situation because she wants to play with him. She wants to play tug with him. She wants to grab his toys. She wants to chase him. Yeah. She wants to be chased. She wants all of those things. And that energy transfers from him to her, to him, to her, to him, to her. And then they're running around like wild banshees, screeching. And then she knocks him down, or she bites him on the hand, or nips his leg, or something happens.
Or he trips over her and she cries. It goes back and forth.
Yes.
Somebody's gonna poke an eye out. Somebody's, you're gonna shoot your eye out, it's going to escalate to the point where it's all fun and games until somebody gets hurt. And then it does happen. And then it's like, okay, we need to take a step back and figure out how we can interrupt that behavior so that it doesn't escalate and get carried away, and that doesn't set a precedent where Trix thinks, hey, this is how I always will interact in the house and how I always interact with children. We don't want that to become the precedent.
So again, we have to work with both him and the puppy, and we try and set them up in situations where they can interact properly and still have some playtime, but also have some non-playtime. So we get him puppy toys that are tug toys or something else and say, here, play with the puppy, play tug with the puppy. All of that's great. Okay. Now, then on the flip side of that, we say, all right, let's sit down as a family and watch a movie in the evening or something along those lines. And Trix comes up and hangs out with us, and he's relaxed and she's relaxed, and he sits there and pets her while we watch a movie. So being able to incorporate both aspects of it, but being consistent, not giving up and saying, oh, whatever, this is just easier, let them just roughhouse.
Because it won't just go away. It's not just a puppy phase that'll phase out. It's going to become a conditioned habit of how puppies interact, and then they are adults and how they interact with other people and children. And once they're bigger, they're much rougher when they're playing like that. And then we also teach Aiden things like no puppy, get down puppy, if she's jumping at him or trying to, which she's really good about, trying to jump on his high chair.
Yeah, she's figured out that there's food up there, and that sounds like a great place. And she's just tall enough that she can get her little paws up over the edge and just her nose up over the edge of that high chair. And so it's teaching him to be able to tell her as well, no puppy. And the same thing with when he's on the ground, if he's getting jumped on or knocked down, he's got to be able to stand up for himself and say, no puppy, don't jump on me. It's not okay.
And he will give her a little push down. Obviously, he's, 2 and isn't able to hurt her, but he's able to physically exert a little bit of dominance over her to say, no, puppy, get down. I don't want to be jumped on. And that's important for him to understand, too. If he needs to let the puppy know that that's enough, then he can step in and do that. Even at 2 years old, he can do that.
When he was quite a bit younger, and this specifically mentions a 6-month-old, that's one of those situations where with a little puppy and a 6-month-old, that's just asking for somebody or for the baby to get hurt, basically, in our opinion. Now, if you've got older dogs, it's a lot easier interaction or, introduction to an interaction. And but even that, there's a video, I think we posted it when Aiden was little baby. It was like first real interactions. He was pretty small, and Rex, the old man's laying there next to us, and he's all, oh, look, I'm so calm and old. And then he goes, whop, with his paw right in the middle of Aiden's face, So
just an unpredictable dog stretch thing to do.
Yep,
and
he just stretched
and they're so much bigger and tougher that they can easily hurt a little baby. So we really monitor the interactions when the children are too young to, advocate and stand up for themselves. And then we need to be the ones that step in and create those boundaries and that separation in those situations. So yes, there's definitely, we have to have realistic expectations. We're not going to say, yeah, your 6-month-old baby is going to be able to say, no, puppy, get down, puppy, and push them away. Your 6-month-old is probably just to the point where they're sitting up and getting knocked over very easily. Yes. So we definitely want to, in those situations, kind of just separate them. We're going to be back in that situation again very shortly with a new baby, and always puppies in this household. So we will be doing, of course, more with that. And hopefully we'll be able to shoot some videos in the future showing some interactions and things like that, how we work through lots of different situations with puppies and babies and adult dogs.
Okay, so in case you didn't know, we have an online dog training community through a website called Patreon. They are a subscription platform, basically, and another social page similar to the way Instagram or Facebook works, but it is set up just for people that need help from us. It's designed to support creators. So we set up on there, and we have an environment set up so that people can directly ask us questions, and that is where we put the brunt of our time, effort, energy into answering questions for people. Now, there was one person specifically that was on there, and I want to talk about this situation because I don't want to provide false hope or false understanding of what this dog training community is. There is no magic answer. We have a lot of experience and we have a lot of information to provide for you, but like any educational platform or any educational situation, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And that, I can't say it any other way with that. So
there's no easy button. You can't just ask us a question. We give you this magical fix that fixes it. If you're not willing to put in the time or take our advice and our suggestions, then it's probably not going to work and it's not going to fix the situation.
But it's probably not right for you too if you're in that situation. So in this, we had a situation that directly relates to this question. We thought it would be a good one to bring up. It's in this situation specifically, they ask about a teenager that was trying to have proper interactions with the puppy. I believe the puppy was somewhere between 4 and 6 months old, maybe a little younger, or closer to 4 months, give or take a little bit there. And they said, how do I help my puppy better interact with my child? Well, my first question was, how old is the child? Teenager age. And I said, okay, so in this situation, it is a give and take. We have to be able to help both the puppy learn how to have proper interaction, as well as the teenager be able to help teach proper interaction. It's the only way that that situation is going to get better. So in that, I want you guys to understand that it's one of those things that there isn't some magic answer, and in this specific situation, he didn't like that. He said, oh, well, if you aren't going to give me any help, then no, that is the help. We have to be able to help both sides of this situation to be able to better this.
And it basically came down to the young teenager wasn't willing to do anything to
he was sort of afraid to hurt the puppy's feelings.
Didn't want to hurt the puppy's feelings, but the puppy needed to be shown and told that this kind of interaction isn't okay. And the teenager wasn't willing to do that. So again, it's that two-way street. Well, if you're not willing or they're not willing to do the training, do the work, and even do some training in building a bond and having the respect from that puppy is a big part of it. And if they're not willing to do that, then we can't make any changes and fixes to that situation.
Improper interaction is a lack of understanding, first and foremost. And then once there's an understanding, it's a lack of respect. Respect is gained through training and understanding. And everybody in the family that is able needs to take part in those daily training sessions and have the same expectations. If you can't unify as one family to have the same rules, you are going to struggle, period.
Yes. So
great question. And it was a lot of really cool stuff that I thought we were able to bring in there.